In this video, I'm going to give a preview of the October 2025 BTO launch. Let's talk about the Redhill Close BTO at Bukit Merah. What most people know about the October BTO is the flashy keppel BTO that will give you a chance to own an ocean-facing BTO in such a premium area that is typically reserved for high-end condos. But not many people realize just yet that when you ballot for Bukit Merah town, there is a risk that you might get the other sibling, which is the Redhill Close BTO. You see, based on the current HDB rule, you can only apply for one town and one flat type only. You cannot pick the project at the beginning. You can only do so if you are lucky enough to get a queue number. And even that, it will depend on what project and units are still available when you are invited to pick a flat. So, when you apply for Bukit Merah in October, you can either get keppel or Redhill Close. Hence, I think it's good to know more about this project a little bit more. So, Redhill Close is a mega project that will host 1,020 units of 2-room flexi and 4-room flats. In fact, 410 of it would be 2-room flexi. So, this is a good news for seniors and first-timer singles. In terms of on-site facilities, there will be a preschool here, but that's not a big problem because the area itself is very mature, so you have a lot of amenities surrounding you. In terms of classification, given that this project is located in Bukit Merah town, it is still within walking distance to Redhill MRT station, and the fact that the two recent Bukit Merah were classified as prime just in the previous release, I'm guessing that this Redhill Close most likely will be categorized as prime project as well, which means it will be subjected to 10-year MOP and very strict restrictions in terms of you won't be able to ever rent out the whole flat even after MOP. You have income ceiling for the future potential resale buyers, etc. But yeah, at this point in time, that's just the reality of applying for BTO, isn't it? Now, let's talk about the location. So this is the map that HDB gave. So if we look in Google Maps, I think this is the comparable location. So it's this giant land plot. So initially, I thought they would build a BTO here completely. That's why it can fit over 1,000 flats. But apparently, upon closer look, when comparing the marking here, it's not even going to be the full land plot here. It seems like the BTO of Redhill Close will only use some of this plot, but not the whole thing. So only on the bottom part. So it seems like they are saving the balanced land, which is on the top, probably for future BTO. So that's interesting. So the location of this land plot is a little bit on the quieter side of Bukit Merah, I would say, because this part and this part is just like a small road. Only this one, Jalan Bukit Merah, is busier, so it will be noisier. But other than that, this is more like a quieter side of Bukit Merah, facing another HDB complex on this side. Now, you might be wondering where is the nearest MRT station. So it's just over here, Redhill. So I checked using Google Maps before, and it's around 650 meters to Redhill MRT station. So I think it's definitely still walkable. It's not that far in my opinion. In terms of amenities, you have the Redhill Market just over here, and there's also some hawker centers. And of course, near the Redhill MRT station itself, you have a lot of small shops, clinics, etc. There are actually quite a lot of eateries around here as well, around the Jalan Bukit Merah, and also got some clinics, got some McDonald's. So there are plenty of amenities definitely around the area. So if I zoomed in a little bit, you see Bukit Merah Town Center is over here, and then you have bunch of cafes, shops, TCM, etc. So definitely quite a lot of amenities. If you like to exercise, there's a gym over here. It is also equipped with swimming pool, is it? I'm not so sure whether it's part of the gym, honestly. But then we also have Active SG just around here. So it is within walking distance from this Redhill Close BTO. If you are religious, there's a temple over here, and then there's a mosque over here. So it's not that far. And then I believe there are some churches as well. But then I think, as far as I know, the churches is a bit far, which is around this area. So probably you would need to take a bus to go to that church. For parents, there are several options to send your kids to school. You have the Gan Eng Seng Primary School here. You have the Bukit Merah Secondary School there. So other than the two schools I've mentioned, there's another primary school over here, another school over here again. So there are some options. So you also have the Queenstown Secondary School and also Crescent Girls School. Now, if you don't want to walk all over to Redhill MRT station, if you see the Jalan Bukit Merah is actually a main road, so you can also take buses here. As you can see, there are quite a lot of bus stops over here. So I think it will be easy for you to commute. In terms of the view, realistically, because it is a mature town, we don't see much of empty land plots, right? So most likely you will just face another tower or you will face another building. So for example, these are just another HDB complex. I think these are also high-rise buildings. The only facing that I think can have some sort of unblocked view, especially for high floors, probably would be the one facing the Gan Eng Seng Primary School. So over here, probably you'll have some unblocked views if you have like high floor units. For those of you who are driving, the expressway is just over here. But as you can see from the map, the land plot itself is not directly next to the expressway. So hopefully it would not be so noisy, especially at night. Overall, I think the location is actually quite good. As long as you don't expect any ocean view or something like that, like you might get at Keppel BTO. But I think overall, this is actually a solid option in my opinion, especially if you have a family and you prefer to have convenience for day-to-day activities. So overall, what do I think about this project? Honestly, I was surprised that HDB released this spot, given that back in July, we just had two Bukit Merah BTO, and then in October, Keppel is already scheduled to be as part of the lineup, which is technically Bukit Merah as well. So I am surprised that HDB released another Bukit Merah location again. At first, when I saw the lineup, this particular BTO did feel like a trap at the beginning, because if somebody bid for Bukit Merah, then they could either get Keppel or Redhill Close, depending on their queue number, of course. But then upon closer look, to me, this is not exactly a trap, but it's just another option. Objectively, I think Redhill Close is actually more sustainable for families because of its proximity to schools as well as amenities, and it's also more convenient for day-to-day life in my opinion, even though yes, you would not see ocean every day, but this is more convenient in my opinion. So what do I like about the project? I do appreciate that you can still walk to MRT station, even though admittedly it's a bit of a mid-distance. 650 meters is not that close, but I think it's still doable. I also appreciate that it has mature amenities, even though on site it will only have a preschool, but then surrounding the area you have Redhill Market and Food Center, you have a lot of shops, you have Active SG, swimming pool and gym, and then overall the area feels mature. And then you also have several school options, so that's good for families. In terms of resale and rental possibilities, I have no doubt. I think it will be very competitive, especially because surrounding the land plot are actually like older HDBs. So definitely you have a higher edge if one day you want to resell the flat or you want to rent out rooms. I think it's very much doable. And I also appreciate the fact that it has a lot of two-room flexi supply, which I believe would be very helpful, especially for seniors as well as first-timer singles. So I think that's good. On the other hand, what don't I like about the project? Well, the entry price is on the higher side, of course, compared to like other project in this October BTO launch, right? We cannot compare it with Yishun or cannot compare it with Sengkang. So it's definitely not a budget option. And then, of course, I also don't like the fact that this project will get slapped with the 10-year MOP and very strict restrictions. That's not fun in any way. Another cons would probably be high competition, because I am anticipating many people would apply for Bukit Merah town predominantly because Keppel BTO is being offered, but then it also has a spillover to the application rate for this project as well, right? Because it's located in the same town. So expect the competition to be on a higher side. The application rate would definitely be higher versus if there's no keppel at all. Because I think if in Bukit Merah town, there's only this Redhill Close BTO and then there's no keppel at all, I think the application rate would probably be lower, maybe somewhere around 2 point something, so similar with Alexandra Vista and Alexandra Peaks that were launched back in July. But I think overall, objectively, personally, I think this is a solid option. If you want to know more about other projects, check out my other videos in this channel. To get exclusive contents and support my work, click the join button to be part of the online family. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Don't forget to join the membership and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye!